whereby the money that the police department gets for, like I said, the tobacco enforcement, some of the alcohol enforcement, they've gotten a number of grants for the click it or ticket enforcement grants, stuff like that. The grant fund isn't budgeted, only because if you can tell me how much we're going to get in grant money each year, I'll be more than happy to budget it. But since it's really hard to predict, we don't want to try and make assumptions. How that works, though, is since most of the grants actually offset an operating account, we record the revenue in the grant fund, and then we expense it out and account for it and basically reduce the expenditure line in the general fund for whatever line it would be. Like, for example, the police department for the click it or ticket, since that's overtime that they've got approved through the state police department, it goes and it reduces their overtime budget accordingly. The $75,000 we got from Representative Rebeletti is in the grant fund. We know exactly where that money's at. The initial $1 million we got for the grade separation, I've actually been in very intense talks with Assistant Manager Murmas the last few days as to the status of that, how much is there. We know exactly where all of that money is as well. The money from Rebeletti and Pancow, the $100,000 and the $250,000, we are aware of that. And, we're mindful that we're going to receive that at some point. It's not on the books anywhere simply because we haven't received it anywhere. The same thing with the additional funding for the grade separation. We're aware of it, and it's there, but since we haven't actually physically received the cash, there's nothing that we can book to that effect. But we are aware of those monies and kind of have our eye, on the bank accounts every day, seeing if something else comes in. So did I cover everything you were looking for?
Okay, one last thing
One
from
fast one.
Alderman Roy Wesley, and then I'm going to ask Mr. Eugene Wesley to make the motion.
We tabled Kemlon in Eugene Wesley's committee. That's still in his budget. Does that mean that we can't cut it then later?
I don't believe so. We always have the right to cut something, right?
Let me answer it this way. Just because it's in the budget doesn't mean you have to spend it.
Right.
It can stay in the budget, and if the council makes a policy decision they don't want to do that, they give us direction not to spend it, and we don't spend it.
I just don't want you to, just because we're gonna pass the budget, that means that go ahead and sign a contract.
Alderman Wesley, I respond to the policy dictates of the city council. If the city council says we don't want to sign a contract, we won't sign a contract.
Okay, Alderman Eugene Wesley, do you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve the budget to go to print and drop the ordinance with the city attorney.
Is there a second?
Second.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, items to be discussed at future meetings is business license ordinance amendment, and item B. I'm going to go ahead and ask a question. Where's the last payment from the state? Did we get anything lately? Okay, so,
Neither a voucher nor a payment.
okay, so they've only paid, what, November's or December's now?
November's is in the mail, we're waiting on December.
Okay,
Excuse me, November's has been paid, we're waiting on December.
gotcha. With no voucher or anything for December?
They voucher us, we don't voucher them.
Like no IOU or anything, right? Nothing?
It's an IOU.
Okay. Okay, I make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Opposed?
Any opposed?
Want to give